Welcome students, and this is Ravi Shankar. See, we are going to study about some of the questions regarding competitive examinations. So here I am dealing with the first lesson called to be units and dimensions. But regarding the topic units and dimensions, more number of questions are coming out from the dimensions alone. And after the dimensions, the next important part is considered to be the application, or we can say the propagation of errors. So let us see with the questions in propagation of errors as well as in significant figures. So put a separate notebook and copy the question paper and try to work it out along with me so that you can able to get the answer. So let us move on to the questions. The first question already asked in AIEEE, which is now called as the NIT examinations, and it was asked in the year 2010. The question is, see, regarding the significant figures, the respective number of significant figures for the given numbers. So the first number given is 23.023. The second number given is 0.0003. And the third number given is considered to be 2.1 into 10 to the power of minus 3. In this, how many number of significant figures are available in each and given number? See, in this, the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first one is having five digits, significant digits as 5. The second one, 0.000. These three are considered to be non-significant. Only 3 is considered to be significant. So the number of significant digits available is 1. And in this third case, it is 10 power minus 3. This is not significant. Only these two numbers are significant, 2 and 1. So the number of significant digits available is 2. So 5, 1 and 2 are the number of significant digits in the given number. So the option is, the second one is the option. Hope you should have understood. So this is considered to be, or this is taken to be the solution for what? Solution for the first question. What is the second one? The length, breadth and the thickness of a strip are given by. So let us consider a strip. So when you are considering a strip, it was taken the length of the strip, breadth of the strip as well as the thickness of the strip. So if I am taking the strip like this, the length of the strip is given as 10.0 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Similarly, what is the breadth? The breadth is considered to be, instead of breadth, they have given it out as height. What is the height? They have given it out as 1 plus or minus 0.01 centimeter. Then what is the thickness? It is 0.100 plus or minus 0.001 centimeter. See, if it is given as L is equal to this value, then this represents L plus or minus delta L. Similarly, H, we can write H plus or minus delta H. Similarly, T, you can write this as thickness T plus or minus change in thickness delta T. So from this arrangement, or from by comparing this, we can say L is equal to 10 centimeter and delta L is equal to 0.1 centimeter. Similarly, in the second case, height H is equal to 1 centimeter and the change in height, accuracy, delta H is equal to 0.01 centimeter. Similarly, in the third one, the thickness T is equal to 0.1 centimeter and change in thickness delta T equal to 0.001 centimeter. So how you can able to calculate the probable error in calculating volume? So how I can able to calculate volume? I can able to get the volume using the formula length into breadth into height. So length into breadth into height is taken to be V. But what it is asked? The asked is delta V divided by V. So what is that delta V divided by V? Delta V divided by V is, for this I can write it out as delta L divided by L plus, for B it is considered to be, instead of B they have given H, and here instead of H they have given thickness. So delta H divided by H plus delta T divided by T. So what is the value of delta L? Delta L is 0.1 divided by, what is L? L is 10 plus, what is delta H? Delta H is 0.01 divided by 1 plus, what is delta T? Delta T is 0.001 divided by, what is T? T is 0.1. So on simplifying, what you will be able to get? 0.1 divided by 10, it is 0.01 plus 0.01 by 1, you will be able to get 0.01 plus 0.01 by 0.1, you will be able to get it out as, here it is 10 to the power of minus 3. You just multiply the numerator and denominator with the 10, you will be getting 0.01 by 1. So again, you will be able to get 0.01. So when you are adding all these three, the answer is 0.03. It is change in volume divided by original volume. So the error, most probable error is 0.03. If you want to calculate in percentage, it is not asked, but you calculate. Percentage error is equal to 0.03 into 100%. So the error is taken to be 3%. But here what it is asked is, just you are asked to calculate the most probable error in volume. So the most probable error in volume is taken to be 0.03 centimeter cube. So this we are taking it out as what? This we are taking it out as the error available. If so, we can write the option A, or the option 1 is taken to be what? Option 1 is taken to be correct answer. Hope you should have understood this. Let us move on to the next problem. Problem number 3. Come on, let us go for the problem number 3. See, the measured mass and the volume of the body are 22.42 gram and 4.7 centimeter cube respectively, with possible errors of 0.01 gram and 0.1 centimeter cube. The maximum error in calculating the density is dash. So how we can able to calculate? Let us find the solution now. The measured mass. So let us consider the mass as M. So the value of the mass M is 22.42 gram. Then volume is given. So volume is equal to 4.7 centimeter cube. What else given? With possible errors. So delta M. Delta M is 0.01 gram. And volume, change in volume, possible error in volume is 0.1 centimeter cube. You are asked to calculate the maximum error, that is percentage error. Percentage error in density is asked. See, we know that density is given by the formula mass divided by volume. So if you want to calculate the change in density, density is represented by the letter rho. So I can write delta rho divided by rho into 100% is equal to delta M divided by M into 100% plus delta V divided by V into 100%. So delta rho divided by rho into 100% is equal to, what is delta M? Delta M is considered to be 0.01 divided by 22.42 plus into 100%, I can take 100 common. So what is delta V? Delta V is 0.1 divided by V, it is 4.7. Take 100% outside into 100%. So simplify, you will be getting the answer. So the answer will be When you are multiplying it with 100, you will be getting 1 divided by 22.42 plus here when you are multiplying it with 100, you will be getting 10 divided by 4.7. On simplifying, you will be getting the answer as 2.17%. So you just do the mathematical simplification and try to get this answer. So nearly it is equal to what? Nearly it is equal to 2%. So option is 2. The correct option is taken to be 2. Similarly, the same type of problem we have gone with what? The same type of problem in the next turn also. Problem number 4. A wire has a mass of 0.3 plus or minus 0.003 gram. So I can write mass M equal to 0.3 gram, whereas delta M is equal to 0.003 gram. Then the radius, okay, or it is given as 5 centimeters, or sorry, 5 millimeters, and delta R, change in radius, is considered to be 0.005 millimeter. Then what about length? The length is given to be 6 centimeter, and when you are considering change in length, it is considered to be 0.06 centimeter. What it is asked, percentage error in measuring its density. The same formula, when you are considering density, here density can be written as mass divided by volume. Mass we can write it out as M. Volume can be written as area into length. This can be written as mass M divided by area of a wire is considered to be pi r square, multiplied it with length L. So how you can able to get this density is represented by the letter rho. So I can calculate delta rho divided by rho into 100% is equal to, for M I can write delta M divided by M multiplied it with 100% plus, see pi is a constant, so we have to leave it out. So when instead of r square, you can write 2 into delta r divided by r into 100% plus L. For L, you have to write delta L divided by L into 100%. So what will be your answer? You substitute what is delta M. Delta M is 0.003 divided by what is M. M is 0.3, multiply it with 100% plus 2 into what is delta R, 0.005 divided by 5 into 100% plus what is delta L? Delta L is 0.06 divided by 6 into 100%. See, on simplifying this, you will be getting the answer as 0.04. Okay, you will be getting 0.04 into 100%. So the final answer is taken to be 4%. See, beyond this, it is your lookout. Delta rho divided by rho into 100%. Beyond this step, you do your simplification in your own way and try to get the answer. The answer is 4%. So the option available is taken to be what? The correct option is the fourth option. Hope you should have understood this. So the simplification you have to do by yourself. I have written the formula and I have also substituted. So simplify it and get the answer. Try to get the answer. If the answer is same as that of the given answer, then your simplification is correct. If not, you again do the simplification in order to get the answer. Okay, let us move on to the next problem, problem number 5. Come on, let us see the problem number 5. So it was given an experiment measures quantities A, B, and C, and X is calculated from the formula X is equal to AB square divided by C cube. If the percentage errors in measuring A, B, and C are plus or minus 1%, plus or minus 3%, and plus or minus 2% respectively, the percentage error in calculating X can be. So what is the formula given? The formula given is X is equal to A B square divided by C cube. So how I can able to get the value for percentage error? The percentage error is delta X divided by X into 100%. That is what it is asked. So I am writing delta X divided by X into 100% is equal to, for A, I have to write delta A divided by A into 100% plus, here it is B square. So I have to write 2 into delta B divided by B into 100% plus, what is C cube when it is taken? 3 into delta C divided by C into 100%. So I can get delta X divided by X into 100% is equal to, see, this was being given delta A divided by A into 100% is given as 1%. So it was given as plus or minus 1% plus, then 2 we are able to get again 2 into, so I am writing like this, plus or minus 1% plus or minus, I have to write here 2 into plus or minus delta B divided by B into 100% is 3 or 3%. Again plus, again I have to get 3 into plus or minus delta C by C into 100% is 2%. So on simplifying, I will be able to get it out as plus or minus 1, plus or minus 6, again plus or minus again 6. So the resultant answer that I can able to get, so I have to put like this, plus or minus plus or minus plus or minus. So the resultant answer is plus or minus 13 is the answer. So plus or minus 13% is the answer, which is delta X divided by X into 100%. This is the percentage error in calculating X. This is called to be the percentage error in calculating what? In calculating the value of X. Hope you should have understood. So the answer, what is the answer? The first one is the answer. So what is the option then? Option 1 is the answer. Okay, now let us move on to the next question. Question number 6. Come on, go through the problem number 6. See what it is given. A student measures the distance traveled in the free fall of a body initially at rest in a given time. So in a time of t seconds, a person is observing a body which is falling freely. The body is initially at rest means initial velocity u equal to 0. He uses this data to estimate the acceleration due to gravity g. You have to calculate the maximum percentage errors. So the maximum percentage error in measuring the distance and in measuring the time are given as E1 and E2 respectively. The percentage error in calculating G is. So first of all, you have to calculate G. See, a student measures the distance traveled. So the distance traveled can be calculated from the equations of motion, which is given by the formula S is equal to ut plus of at square. But it is given that initial velocity u equal to 0. Therefore, what will happen to S? S will be half into, instead of A, the body is falling freely. So instead of A, I can put G. So half into G into T square. But what it is asked, the percentage, he uses this data to estimate G. So acceleration due to gravity. From this equation, you calculate the value of G. Therefore, G is equal to, on cross multiplying, you will be able to get 2S divided by T square. For this we have to calculate the percentage error. So therefore, the possible error is delta G divided by G into 100% I have to calculate. So this is percentage error in calculating what? Percentage error in calculating the acceleration due to gravity G. So delta G divided by G into 100% is equal to, when you are simplifying this formula, I can write delta S divided by S into 100% plus T square, then 2 into delta T divided by T into 100%. What it is given, you see, if the maximum percentage error in the measurement of distance, that is given, it is given that in measuring distance, our delta S divided by S into 100% is taken to be E1, and in measuring time, that is delta T divided by T into 100% is given as E2. Then I can take these values and substitute in the previous equation. I can get delta G divided by G into 100% is equal to, instead of delta S by S into 100%, I can substitute E1 plus, again you are getting 2 into delta T by T into 100%. Here it is given delta T by T into 100% is E2. So the final answer that I am getting in calculating the most probable error in G is equal to E1 plus 2 into E2, which is equal to delta G divided by G into 100%. So this is the answer. If this is the answer, which option is correct? The second option is correct. So I can say option 2 is taken to be the answer. And this problem already asked in AIPMT, All India Pre-Medical Pre-Dental. Previously it was being called like this. Now it is called as NEET. Before this NEET, it was being called as All India Examinations for the Medical as well as Dental, Pre-Medical Pre-Dental. That is what we are calling it out as AIPMT. And this was being asked in the year 2010. Hope you should have understood this. Now let us move on to the next problem, problem number 7. So come on, let us move on to the problem number 7. The heat generated in a circuit is given by Q equal to I square R into T, called to be the Joule's law of heating, the formula for Joule's law of heating, where I is the current passing through the conductor, R is the resistance of the conductor, and T is the time for which the current is passing through. If the errors in measuring the current, resistance, and the time are 2%, 1%, and 1% respectively, the maximum error in measuring the heat will be. So what is the formula given? The formula given is Q is equal to I square into R into T. What else it is given? The errors in measuring the current. So it is given as delta I divided by I into 100% is given to be 2%. Similarly, delta, then measuring resistance, delta R divided by R into 100% is given to be 1%. Similarly, in measuring time, delta T divided by T into 100% is given as 1%. And you are asked to calculate what? You are asked to calculate delta Q divided by Q into 100% is asked. This we are calling it out as the maximum error in measuring heat. So how I can able to get this formula then? Then I can write delta Q divided by Q into 100% is equal to, instead of I square, I have to write 2 into delta I divided by I into 100% plus, for R it is delta R divided by R into 100% plus delta T divided by T into 100%. Take all these values and substitute in this equation. You can able to get what? You can able to get delta Q divided by Q into 100%. take all these values and substitute it here. So I can get delta Q divided by Q into 100% is equal to 2 into, what is delta I by I into 100%? It is 2. So 2 into 2% plus. Here delta R by R, it is 1% plus. Delta T by T, it is another 1%. So what will be your answer? 4% plus 1% plus 1%. So you will be getting the answer as 6%. So the answer is third one. Option is taken to be what? The correct option is considered to be option number 3, with the help of which we can able to calculate the percentage error in calculating the amount of heat energy when a current of I ampere passes through a resistance of R for a time of T seconds. Hope you should have understood this problem. Let us move on to the next problem, problem number 8. See the problem number 8. The period of oscillation of a simple pendulum is given by T equal to 2 pi into root of L divided by G, where L is 100 centimeters. Okay, so the time period is given by the formula T is equal to 2 pi into root of L divided by G, where L is equal to 100 centimeters. Then to have an 1 millimeter accuracy, that is delta L. It is 1 millimeter means it is equal to 0.1 centimeter. Then the period is, time period capital T is considered to be 2 seconds. The time for 100 oscillations is measured by a stopwatch of least count 0.1 second. That is, delta T is considered to be, that is for one oscillation we have to calculate. For 100 oscillations it is 0.1. So for one oscillation it is 0.1 divided by 100. That is called to be delta T in seconds. The percentage error in calculating G. So you are asked to calculate percentage error in calculating G means delta G divided by G into 100% is being asked. So how to calculate? You take this formula. T is equal to 2 pi into root of L divided by G. Square it out, you will be getting T square is equal to 4 pi square into L divided by G. Make a cross multiplication, you will be getting G equal to 4 pi square L divided by T square. Now for this you write delta G divided by G into 100% is equal to, on the right hand side we have to leave 4 and we have to leave pi square. So instead of L you will be writing delta L divided by L into 100% plus, instead of T square you will be getting 2 into delta T divided by T into 100%. See, come on, substitute delta L divided by L. Delta L is 0.1 divided by L is 100. Multiplied it with again 100% plus. Again you will be getting 2 into, what is this delta T? Delta T is again 0.1 by, what is 0.1 divided by 100? Multiply it with the 2 again into 100%. Just I have done the substitution. Now when you are cancelling, this 100 and this 100 will get cancelled. This 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. This 100 and this 100 will get cancelled. So what is the answer? Delta G divided by G into 100% is equal to 0.1 plus 0.1, that is equal to 0.2%. So what is the option? The correct option is taken to be option 3. So the answer is the third one, 0.2%. It is asked in BHU 2016, BHU Banaras Hindu University. So in the year 2016, this question is being asked in the entrance examination for Banaras Hindu University. Hope you should have understood. Come on, let us move on to the next problem, problem number 9. See here, I have given two problems, problem number 9 and problem number 10. You see the problem number 9, the ratio of 1 micron to 1 nanometer. You know 1 micron. What is this 1 micron? 1 micron is 10 power minus 6 meter. What is 1 nanometer? 1 nanometer means then you have to say that it is 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. The ratio of 1 micron to 1 nanometer. So ratio means you divide one by the other. So 1 micron divided by 1 nanometer is equal to 10 power minus 6 divided by 10 power minus 9. On dividing this, you will be getting 1 divided by 10 power minus 3. Taking it to the numerator, the ratio is 10 to the power of 3. So if that is the answer, option 1 is the correct answer. So option 1 is taken to be the correct answer for what? For the ratio between 1 micron to 1 nanometer. Similarly, the next problem, density of the wood. Density is given in terms of rho equal to 0.5 gram per cc, cubic centimeter in CGS unit. The corresponding values in MKS unit is, if you want to convert gram to kilogram, so this is considered to be CGS and this is considered to be MKS. So if you want to convert gram to kilogram, you multiply the gram value with 10 power minus 3. Similarly, if you are considering cc, cubic centimeter, to meter cube, you have to consider this cubic centimeter to meter cube. So you can say, what is this meter cube? See, this centimeter to meter, it is 10 power minus 2. It is cubic. So you have to multiply it with 10 power minus 2 to the power 3. That is, you have to multiply it with the 10 to the power of minus 6. So rho equal to 0.5 multiplied it with, in order to convert gram to kilogram, you consider 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by, in order to convert say cubic centimeter to meter cube, you multiply it with 10 power minus 6. So on simplifying this, you will be getting rho equal to 0.5 divided by 10 power minus 3, which is equal to 0.5 into 10 to the power of 3. So the density is equal to 500, isn't it? 500 kilogram per meter cube is the answer that we are in need of. So the answer is 500 kilogram per meter cube. So the first one is the answer. So the correct answer is option 1 is taken to be the correct answer. So we have seen about some 10 problems, and in the next video, let us move on with the more number of questions regarding the dimensions. Okay, until then, goodbye and thank you from Ravi Shankar. Thank you.